The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive. Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning, Maureen. And Maureen was asking if I was going to drag out the good morning like I usually do. Of course I am. Of course
It's
I
your
am.
signature move. It's your signature move.
From the beginning, you had sort of a dry good morning, and I was like, okay, we gotta go somewhere with
Thanks for that
this.
compliment. I like to be dry. Hey, there has to be the back and forth and play off each other. So I'm okay with being the straight guy. I'm okay.
That's cool. That's cool. It's nice. There's great contrast and balance and fun, and we decided to do these podcasts because they're fun. So, what kind of fun are we having this morning, and what can we do for people?
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the Waking Up app, Sam Harris's Waking Up app, and I know we're going to do a separate podcast on that, which we'll shortly do. One of the things that I found within the app in the life section is called The Stoic Path by William B. Irvine.
Okay.
There's, let's see. Okay, I'm scrolling down, maybe 20 short recordings.
What's short? What's short?
Roughly 1 minute, 13 minutes, 11 minutes each, 14 minutes.
Okay,
They're
that's
roughly
short.
around 10 to 15 minutes each.
Okay.
And I've been listening to them like when I wake up in the morning, a couple at a time. After I do like the little daily meditation. But anyways, so the Stoic path, it's called, it's applying the wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophy to the challenges of modern life with Professor William Irvine. And I feel like, I was introduced to Stoic philosophy as an undergrad. I was a philosophy major, but then Ryan Holiday is the guy that he's a writer that a lot of people associate with Stoicism. He wrote The Obstacle is the Way. And I think I'm sure a few other books about the Stoics and the Stoic path. He's actually gone and spoken to NFL teams and done a lot of, events and workshopping and so forth around Stoicism with CEOs and professionals, and really interesting. And do you remember we did the episode on REBT in our what's his name? God, why can't I remember his name? The guy that created REBT therapy.
I just know he used 4-letter words. That's all I know.
His name will pop into my mind eventually.
That's fine.
But at the base of that is Stoicism as well. So really underlying a lot of CBT, cognitive-based therapies, is Stoicism underneath there. So interesting. Anyways, what do you know about Stoicism?
Well, I know that it's kind of going through a rebirth in our popular culture, that a lot of people are turning to it as a way forward, and the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, and I guess it's all summed up in character. So in today's kind of everything is subjective world, I think that Stoicism has a lot to offer people, and it's being picked up by young people. I forget the book that I just read on it, and I was trying to look it up.
I also heard about it from I think I found Ryan Holiday and read The Obstacle is the Way from listening to Tim Ferriss in his podcast, where he talked a lot about memento mori, which is basically being acutely aware that we're dying every day. And we've laughed and talked about our episodes on death and so forth, and mortality, and as if we're getting really deep and existential. But that is a key part of Stoic philosophy, is to recognize, rather than feeling sad and scared that we're going to die, is to really kind of keep that in the forefront of your brain or some little corner of your brain so that you can fully live each moment, each day, knowing that, that time that you spent, you are dying, it's dead, it's gone, right? And so to really savor the present moment, there's obviously a lot of overlaps with meditation and present moment living, hence probably why it's in the Waking Up app, a whole thing on Stoicism. But there's a lot of techniques that this guy outlines about the search for silver linings, the power of the way you frame things. There's all these Stoic test strategies and, ways, little tools and techniques that the Stoics, that's based in Stoicism, that you can implement in your everyday living to really improve the quality of your life. And,
it's one thing to read Epictetus and is it Marcus Aurelius who had all those wonderful things to say, and they're great and they provide a way forward. But maybe it's and I think today, when people pick those things up as you did in the Waking Up app, and as I did in a book that I can't remember right now, I'll have to put it in show notes. There are modern hacks and ways and entry points that are geared for, us humans who have less time to sit down with the ancient Greek philosophers and dissect it all. Right. And it's really pretty cool. I think it's allowing a group of people who is exposed to this, these apps and these books that are now on popular shelves and whatnot, to find Greek philosophers. When I was growing up, oh my gosh, I mean, either it was like you went to college and you took a philosophy course, which I did, and Greek philosophy course, or, your dad or some professor or your mom or something, read books on philosophy, but it wasn't something generally done.
Yeah, no, you're speaking to the accessibility now. And that's why I brought this up as this part of this Waking Up app, this Stoic path. It's in a nutshell, a professor who's done all of that work for us, right? Reading the actual texts and translating, and a guy like Ryan Holiday, like that's their specialty, that's their niche. And so they're wonderful resources to give us access to the Stoics and the Stoic philosophy in a modern way that's accessible and applicable. I love the applicability. These are little exercises you can do. You can,
how cool. I mean, and that's
15 minutes of a listening, and you got something invaluable.
That's our learning conversation podcast in a nutshell. There's this exploding, and of course we can't remember it, but we do remember this part. I mean, you have, Ryan Holiday and William Irvine and all the rest of this, and the Waking Up app, to explore Stoicism. So this is our podcast this morning to introduce the huge subject of Stoicism through the mini portals of apps, the Waking Up app, which is Sam Harris's. And what were the two books that you mentioned? The Stoic Path?
The Obstacle is the Way. And I know Ryan Holiday has other books on Stoicism and the Stoic Path. Also, Robert Greene comes to mind, because I know Ryan Holiday was sort of Robert Greene's protege, and Robert Greene is pretty prolific writer. Not that he's specific to Stoic philosophy, but just another great resource for people to check out. So that's that. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Applying, classic wisdom for modern humans, right? Which is my book, but it's a collection of all of this classic wisdom and all of these people who are experts in these various areas and can pass on just little nuggets that are so relevant for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an example, William Irvine, A Guide to the Good Life, The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy,
Mm.
2009. I mean, it's just great stuff. You don't have to go back.
Albert
And
Ellis.
Albert Ellis. Oh,
I
we
looked
did
it up.
it at the
Yeah,
same
I Googled it.
time.
Yeah, thank God. But
Albert Ellis, right.
and that was in the
And the
50s, 60s.
REBT, because I hate acronyms, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy in 1955. And he's getting it from the Stoics.
Yeah,
And Epictetus' maxim that people are not disturbed by things, but by their view of things.
right. And that's the
Cognitive
framing.
model of emotion, right?
Right.
Framing.
It's how you're looking at things. It's your attitude towards what's happening. And again, also the Viktor Frankl thing, it's like also how you respond to what happens, right? We can always pick what happens, but we can definitely create our life based on how we respond to what happens.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Cool.
thank you, Maureen.
Mm.
I really appreciate that. I love the fact that we just jumped right into Stoicism and brought it from Epictetus to, 2009 Waking Up app, 2022. Yeah. All right. Good. Well, on to the next thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Waking Up app and Sam Harris next. So
Yeah, a little bit.
let's do it. All right.
Let's-
I'm Maureen from Landscapes for Learning.
And I'm Pierre Rite from not from anything, from Yoga Heals, Peace Through Grace. Maureen, Peace Through Grace.